Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at Batman Arkham City on, in our case, the Xbox 360. Yes. Also the PS3. And I guess the Batman Arkham series in general, which, do you remember when Batman Arkham Asylum came out? And how big and new that was? Well, audience, I guess I'm talking to you then. Because I remember when I first saw Arkham Asylum, and it was kind of a new genre. What do we do as gamers? We can't think of where else to put something. We call it action-adventure, which this is. But it's more than that. It's on one hand, it's like a beat-em-up. You have a lot of thugs and you punch them.
Batman.
You feel like Batman. At the same time, you also sneak around. You have the grappling hook. You hide in the shadows. I remember getting used to the environment in Arkham Asylum and being like, oh, I know this place with those two towers and the guys have sniper rifles. I'll go in on the left and then I go on the right, and then like you started memorizing things and just getting good at it, you know? Mm-hmm. And the first time you go up against guys with guns, I just ran at them and died. And you're like, oh, okay, not allowed to do that. I have to be strategic. Okay.
Okay, guns. Guns are bad.
Yeah. So you and I have recently played through Arkham City, which, let me give you a few notes, few anecdotes on how much we like Arkham City. I bought an Xbox 360 so I could play Batman Arkham City. Like, I'd owned one previously, and then it broke twice until it was finally completely dead and out of warranty. And then, like, years went by. We're like, oh, Arkham City's out. Oh, I should play it sometime. Oh, I should... okay, finally. I'll buy a console so I can play this game. And then the other anecdote I wanted to share was how you and I have played through this now, with him mostly playing it, and I'm mostly watching, because I played through it before.
And I'm screaming at Batman for always grappling hooking the wrong freaking thing. Like, okay, now I'll just go straight up. Halfway across the city. No! Because once you grapple hook onto something, you can't stop it.
No, but it honestly isn't annoying, though. It's more like, oh, I should have been paying attention. But I played through it, then you and I played through it together, and then we just now played through Harley Quinn's Revenge, which is the expansion pack sort of thing, the DLC after the main story. And then we're like, oh wait, we can unlock the extra skins. So we did, and then you started playing like, there's the cartoon Batman. Oh, here's Batman Beyond. And then like starts going through the main campaign again. Like, okay, we're another hour into this. Clearly, this is a good game.
It's an addictive game. It's a very addictive game.
Especially, I mean, well, for many reasons. But one, I think that appeals to you is the collection mechanic of destroy every balloon, destroy every camera, find every Riddler trophy. The Riddler trophies are very cleverly hidden, all over the place.
And by hidden, we mean put in plain freaking view.
Well, okay. But there's like little puzzles you have to solve to get to them. They're under this little cage or something. It's this open world Batman thing. Let me tell you something. When they announced Assassin's Creed, now I'm not sure which games came out when exactly, but I remember Assassin's Creed was announced, and I saw the E3 coverage. I thought, oh my gosh, that looks awesome. And then I never played the original, but I played Assassin's Creed 2, and I got bored in like half an hour, because I'd be fighting guys, and it was really easy to fight them. I didn't feel like I was being strategic, to the point where random hordes of dudes would try to attack me, and I would run away. Not because I was threatened, but because I was bored. Like, this is too simple. And then I got lost. I didn't know where the frick I was supposed to go. I'm just running around in circles, bumping into these weird animus walls that make no sense. I'm like, frick it, you guys have... I thought this looked cool. But Batman Arkham games, that's what Assassin's Creed was supposed to be, right? And more. And it's Batman.
So, thus better.
And like you said, it's not just for the branding, but for there's more strategy in the fights. I love the hiding aspect. Freaking in Assassin's Creed, the parkour was so cool when I first saw that idea. And then you play it. This is how the parkour works. Hold one button and use the analog stick. And wherever direction you go, he just parkours in that direction. You're like, I'm just holding on to one button, you idiots. Like, that's a neat animation. That's not gameplay. But with this, I'm always thinking, wait, there's a guy over there, there's a guy over there. Okay, I need to be careful.
There's a guy over there, there's a guy over there. Got to make sure that the thing isn't going to fire me directly towards those 8 guys with machine guns I just ran away from.
Right, I was keeping track of lines of sight. You know, you could look at different grapple points and figure out, you know, which one do I need to get to. You had to be patient sometimes. I'm a huge stealth fan. Let me tell you something. When I got into Chaos Theory, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, the third Splinter Cell game, which was awesome. And then after I'd like beaten it and everything, I'd bring my friends over sometime to play it. They actually shot people. I was like, why are you shooting people with the guns? Like, every single thing I ever did in that game was the takedown from behind, super stealth, you know. Except for like 2 occasions where you have to kill a guy for the story. Like, everything was stealthy. And I love the intelligence of that. That's one of the things I've always loved about Batman in general, is that he always has to be intelligent.
Okay. Now that you've gushed for like 10
minutes.
minutes.
It's been 5.5 minutes. Five.
Okay. It's a very wide open world, and I really like worlds in video games that are really huge and you can get lost in. Heck, I love Minecraft for that reason. I mean, sure, you can build gigantic stone penises for no reason because, you know, people on the internet are 12. But the part I like best is exploring the adventure world and finding, like, here's these secret hidden caves, here's these dungeons. I found the temple that allows you to, the stronghold, so you can activate the portal to the end, and all these really cool little things, you know. I'm a fan of that. Really huge, wide open worlds that you can just explore to your heart's content.
Yeah. And these ones are filled in with more people. You keep hearing the surveillance of, like, guys chatting, like, why did the roof of that church blow up? And, you know,
yeah, and
like,
you hear thugs commenting about, like, oh yeah, Harley's going nuts because her boyfriend is... Okay, some plot time.
Spoilers for everything.
Okay, before we continue, because I'm going to be mentioning stuff that happens in the game, and that usually helps me phrase my... Okay, so it's months after the events of Arkham Asylum, which I'm assuming...
Oh, do you want me to summarize
based on comments that I have heard, I am going to assume that Arkham Asylum was in fact a game.
Yes.
It was not a sandwich. 86% sure it wasn't a sandwich.
Oh, we gotta get, like, Mad Hatter or somebody to say that.
Which you also face in...
Which you also face in this game. Okay, so Arkham Asylum, the plot was pretty simple. The Jokers and basically everybody is busting out. Well, they're within the bounds of the asylum, but they're busting out of their original cells and taking over the place. And Joker says he's got random bombs throughout the city, and he'll blow them up if any cops show up. So that's their excuse as to why only Batman is here. Which,
to be fair, that is kind of a Jokerish thing to do.
It is a kind of Jokerish thing to do. It turns out that all the bombs are fake, and, you know, it's just the excuse for why only Batman's in this game. And there's this stuff called Titan, which is basically like a knockoff of Bane's serum, and you
Venom.
Not a knockoff of Venom, as in the Bane serum, and not the Spider-Man villain.
Although Venom on Venom.
Venom on Venom would be very creepy. Anyway.
Ooh, Bane on Venom with Venom. Ooh, or Bane fighting Venom. That would be interesting.
Bane fighting Venom. Alright, I could do that. Okay, we'll use that for the next movie.
I will take you. I will break you like I did the bat. We are going to eat your brain. Filmmakers, call me.
Yeah. So Titan's going around, and
Titan is, it's super serum.
It's basically, it makes you kind of a Hulk type thing, and the Joker injects himself and Batman with it, actually, and then Batman gets this cure and winds up injecting himself, which leaves the Joker in mutant form, and the final boss is you just kicking the crap out of Hulk Joker. So by the events of this game, Joker is looking like a normal-sized Joker, but dun dun dun, he's ill.
Okay, the plot is basically that after the failure of Arkham Asylum, the guy who was in charge of Arkham Asylum, who was...
Quinn Sharp?
Quincy
Sharp.
Quincy Sharp has announced the creation of Arkham City with his partnership with Hugo Strange. Now, anyone who knows comics, specifically Batman, knows Hugo Strange is fucking evil.
Though in this continuity, they did not know that yet, so that's okay.
Okay, fair enough, but still. He's kind of fucking evil and likes performing twisted, messed up psychological experiments on people.
He's also got a thing for figuring out Batman's identity all the time.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing he's known for, really, if I come to think of it. outside of this game. Like, what else has he ever done?
Yeah, he's kind of annoying. But anyways, so they announced that they're walling off a huge section of the city, and they're going to dump every criminal ever inside of here.
For some reason, that's cheaper than just rebuilding Blackgate.
Or, you know, putting the super criminals into secure lockup so they can't escape, or...
Yeah.
And also, you gotta wonder, how the hell did the Justice Department say, okay, sure, we'll have this open-air murder prison, and sure, we'll kick out thousands of Gothamites in order to make this work.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it's the premise of the game, so...
Yeah, and sure, we'll let you have your private tiger army on U.S. soil.
Wait, let us specify. That's the name of the mercenary group. It is not an actual private tiger army.
Oh my god, that would be so cool! This is what happens when Calvin grows up and isn't given the psychological help that he needs. He creates a private tiger army.
Have you ever seen Hobbs and Bacon, though?
Yes, that is adorable.
So adorable, even if it's non-canon. That is...
my headcanon is Hobbs and Bacon happened.
That's everyone just go look that up.
Yeah, but okay, so tiger is just the name of it, and spelled with a Y instead of an I, because poor literacy is Q.
Hat tip to Linkara, I have a similar hat. You wouldn't know that, would you, on the other side of this recording?
We do not have magic guns, though.
No.
But anyways, so Strange starts throwing everybody into there that he doesn't like, namely people who were involved in the creation of this place and Bruce Wayne, because why is Bruce Wayne thrown into Arkham City? I mean, he knows he's Batman.
Yeah.
So he knows, here's what's going to happen. Here's the best case scenario. He knows he's Batman. He knows Batman is hyper paranoid about everything. So there's probably a satellite Batcave somewhere in Arkham City, or he can just orbitally drop in like a canister of Bat technology.
Yep.
And Batman will then proceed to fuck everything up.
Yep.
Like he always does.
Yeah.
So why do you put him in there where he's going to do the most damage? It's like Darth Vader saying, "Here, Luke, we're sealing you in this room with an X-wing and lots of proton torpedoes and easy access to the main reactor shaft. Clearly, we are the geniuses."
I like to call that Stargate-style imprisonment because they were always crap in Stargate.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, let's put all the guys together in one room with no supervision, and you can unlock the door by hitting this button on the other side of the hall, like right in front of the door bars.
Okay, that happened in Atlantis.
Okay, still.
And to be fair, it took them a really long time to hit the button.
That's a button. You could have used a lock. And their weapons are just down the hall, and they can pick them up like without another key or something.
God damn it! Okay, yeah. Stargate was really crap at holding prisoners.
Anyway, but the deal is though that he wants to activate Protocol 10 because Strange, in this version of things at least, is not just a villain who wants to get like a lot of money. He's a Raj Al Ghul type, and in fact the protege of Raj Al Ghul, who wants to kill off all the bad people.
Yeah. So he's eventually going to work his way up to Protocol 66, which is where the clone troopers slaughter all the Jedi at the end of the Clone Wars.
I want to go back in time and rewrite the prequels. We already did that video though.
Yeah, but anyways, so he stuffs Bruce Wayne into Arkham. Okay, fine.
No, the reason I was getting to was he wants Batman to stir up trouble so that all the gangs will start fighting each other. So he has an excuse to activate Protocol 10.
But the gangs aren't fighting each other. It's Batman going around curb stomping each of the leader of the gangs into the dust.
Well,
that's not trouble. That's like saying, "Oh no, there's trouble," when the police show up to arrest you.
Well, the gangs are also fighting each other, though granted, they were kind of doing that before Batman ever showed up, so no, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And we never see the gangs fighting each other. We just... okay, like once or twice we hear... But then it's implied that it was these guys who did it directly. So, like, the super crooks did this directly, like they fired a missile or something. You know, fuck it, I don't know. I'm
Whatever.
Confused.
So you're locked in. Well, not really locked in. You can escape whenever you want to, but you decide, I need to find out what Protocol 10 is and do a whole bunch of other stuff in the meantime. First off, rescue Catwoman, then find out who tried to snipe her, then you go to a church, and the church blows up because the Joker was there, but he wasn't there because he had a robot Joker with a robot sniper rifle.
Because.
And Harley Quinn! Yay.
Who is voiced by Tara Strong in this incarnation. Speaking of voice actors, Mark Hamill. This is his last time coming back as the Joker, and he is glorious.
Yeah.
He plays the Joker as he's sick and dying and mentally ill, which, granted, that's all things that he is at this moment, so that's good. Kevin Conroy, who is the voice of Batman from Batman the Animated Series, which we have gushed over in the past.
Yeah.
He reprises his role as Batman. Tara Strong, voice of Twilight Sparkle. Bit of an odd choice, in my opinion.
Oh, I thought you did a fine job.
She did a fine job.
It's odd only if you think of, she's also all these other characters. But that was a believable Harley to me. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. She was a little too much on the shrill side.
Yeah, I think so.
Just a little. Although I do admit, I did get a very, very sick sense of satisfaction because I hated Twi'lek and Equestria Girl so much. This is for those things about your characters that I hate!
Man, well, at least you found
No, I am not going to let it go, ever! I got a whole
noticed.
bunch of emotional baggage tied up in there. It'd
Yeah.
require a psychologist to properly explain it, and I'm not feeling like
Well,
talking about
Doctor
it.
Strange is available. No.
Yeah, no. That's like shooting... That's like saying a spider that's crawling on your foot and shooting it off with a shotgun.
Yeah, not a good idea.
So... Yeah, you travel all over Arkham, and...
One of the main plots is when Joker reveals that he's dying because of the Titan exposure. But he injects you with Titan also, injects Batman.
Well,
so now Batman has
kind of diluted Titan.
Well, yeah,
as much fun as it would be to be a Bat Hulk and rampage around the city, crushing things in your path.
Yeah, that should be the next game.
The Hulk Arkham City. Oh, please let that be the next game.
That'd be something. Anyway, so you've got a motivation now to go find the cure. Also, it's in a bunch of... this is actually kind of weird, because he claims, and it's later confirmed, that he's been shipping out samples of his blood to emergency rooms, so that other people are poisoned now, and they all need the cure. But at the end of the game, you cure yourself, and then the other cure vial gets broken, and Freeze said that's all the cure you can manufacture, so apparently all those people in the emergency rooms are screwed.
I bet Batman just made another serum
made
out
more
of
of it somehow.
out of his blood.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they all turned into Batman.
Well, okay, see, one of the ingredients you need is Ra's al Ghul's blood.
Which is an incredible coincidence if you think about it.
Not really.
Why? I mean, I know he's semi-immortal, but that's because of the Lazarus Pit, not because
okay, yeah, need Ra's al Ghul's blood. The Ra's al Ghul's blood, needing it to help make the cure, that's a bit of a...
It was a bit of okay, we need to add another villain here. Ra's al Ghul. Okay, here we go.
Okay, but him being in the Batman universe, A, he's a long-standing Batman villain.
Sure.
B, the existence of Lazarus Pits in Gotham has been a long-standing thing in comics and other sources. So, him... C, he is working with Strange, so him being in the city at this time, not that unprecedented.
No, that's fine. Just the blood thing was...
Okay, so Batman runs up to him and takes one needle and takes some of his blood. Here's my thing. Ra's al Ghul's thing is that he's a great Batman-style planner, and that he's immortal because of these things called Lazarus Pits. You can die, you chuck your body in one, you come out alive. So my thing is... why didn't Batman hang him upside down, slit his throat, and drain all of his blood into, like, this big 50-gallon oil drum or something?
Right. Well, we should clarify the when you get to the Ra's al Ghul segment, the big dilemma is he wants you to kill him. So you'll take his place and lead the League of Assassins. Mm-hmm. And Batman's like, no, I won't do that. And as you're pointing out, that's not really a moral dilemma when killing is temporary to begin with.
Yeah, it's like...
slice his head off, take the blood, bring him back to life, and then, hey, Batman, you didn't technically kill him,
It's like bitching about cutting some of Wolverine's skin off to do a sample of it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he'll be horribly maimed. Dude, he's Wolverine. He will heal from this.
Very quickly.
It's like cutting an arm off an octopus. It's still cruel, but it will regrow the arm.
Yeah, so that was kind of a bit arbitrary, whatever.
Yeah, so my thing is, yeah, like I said, keep draining him until you got like a big 50-gallon drum. Throw him,
throw him in the pit, yeah. Kill him, throw him in the pit, yeah.
And then, like, of course, that would lead to this awesome scene of Batman having to lug this huge drum of blood across the city. And all these thugs would be like, "What you got there, Batman? A drum full of the blood of my enemy." All the thugs would be just like, "You know what? Fuck it. Going home."
Yeah. You know, I just thought it'd be neat to actually use fear as a mechanic, which they did not do in this game. But I've been playing with that idea ever since I played, like, Castlevania. I think it was Dawn of Sorrow, one of the DS games. When you're like in the first area and things are tough, and you like upgrade later on. I had to come back to the first area, and people were still fighting me. I was like, I'm invincible now. You should all run away. This should be a mechanic. Like, if I'm at a certain level, then they just flee, and it'd be really fun.
I am a god made flesh. Do you not see the flaming marks where my power has seared my footsteps into the very ground? Do you not see me creating life? Why do you attack me with a 2x4?
Which, actually, that's a thing in Mark of the Ninja, which, for those of you who love stealth games, and have an Xbox 360, or I presume Xbox One also, I hope so, get Mark of the Ninja. It's like $10-15, and it's like an actual ninja game where stealth is important and stuff. As opposed to, say,
Naruto.
I suppose Naruto, or I was thinking of Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden, which is all just... It's like Terminator Ninja. Like, kill everything ninja. Like, nothing to do with stealth. But I was going to say, you can do things to psychologically mess with enemies in that game, especially if you wear something called the Mask of Fear, or the like, outfit of fear. And what you can do that if you kill a guy and make another guard see it, that guard will freak out.
The mask is a copy of the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's a screen that plays the Star Wars Holiday Special. Wow, 3 people took cyanide tablets.
But you can, if a guard sees a dead body, he'll freak out and start shooting everywhere. And if he shoots another guard, then that guy will die, and someone will see him and freak out and start shooting everywhere, and you can get like a whole chain reaction going.
Yeah.
Interesting mechanics, but anyway. So you go on back and forth, you fight Freeze, you fight Penguin, you fight Grundy, you fight Ra's al Ghul.
Solomon Grundy. You know, I was talking to Sonic, like, before we started playing about how Gotham actually has a pretty wide selection of, well, not pretty wide, has a number of superheroes and supervillains who operate in Gotham that aren't related to Batman. Like, Solomon Grundy is actually a classic Green Lantern villain.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I've only ever seen him as a Batman villain. I never knew that. See, what I always liked about Grundy was him being so different from the other villains. He's not a guy with a big gang and they go around and rob banks. He's just this guy who hangs around in the sewers and, honest to goodness, will not bother you unless you bump into him. So just don't bump into him. The end.
Yeah, he was a classic Green Lantern villain, but, you know, since he's an immortal zombie monster...
He just lives in Gotham. That's
well, he
cool.
was born in Gotham. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday.
Okay. In Gotham.
Yeah. So he's technically part of classic Green Lantern mythos. Wow. By which I mean the Alan Scott version, who goes by the name of Sentinel. Yeah. You know, the one who wore the red costume.
Yeah.
So what?
So Grundy was in there.
Yeah. I personally would have liked to see Jason Blood in there.
Who's Jason Blood?
Etrigan.
Oh, the demon guy.
Yeah.
Etrigan. I always want to say Etrigan. Is it Etrigan or Gan?
Etrigan.
Gun.
Yeah, you know. Fall the form of man. Summon the demon Etrigan.
Yeah.
I'm okay. When we get to Arkham Knights, I'm hoping he shows up.
That would be cool.
Yeah, just because it's a part of it's part of Gotham mythos. He lives in Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
He has helped the Batman before. He has helped Batman before in various cases regarding the supernatural. But, you know...
But he's not in the ordinary lineup of Batman associated characters.
Correct.
So that's interesting.
Let's see. So, you go through all of these different things.
And finally, Protocol 10 happens.
And you find out that Protocol 10 is... Strange just ordering his elite troops to level the place.
Just kill everybody. That's Protocol 10, which, okay, that's pretty big.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
I mean, it is a big thing with that many missiles going off, but it wasn't especially clever, I guess. You know what I mean?
You kind of expected something bigger from this guy who figured out the identity of Batman, who set up this whole super maximum ultra murder prison.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if big is quite the right word for it, but it wasn't bad. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess we're shooting missiles now. We gotta go scan these helicopters. So we did.
Yeah. And then you revealed that, oh, he was working with Ra's al Ghul the whole time.
Yep.
Yay.
And apparently you're in competition to be Ra's al Ghul's successor, which is funny because Strange gets all this support from Ra's al Ghul to be a successor, and I guess Batman wouldn't have accepted it anyway. Mm-hmm. But you go to the top of this tower and you find. I love Strange is really turned up the knob on villain arrogance. A lot of villains will say, "You will never defeat me," and then towards the end they're like, "No, no," and they're fighting, you know, and their last breath you defeat them or something. Strange is up there at the top of his tower. You've killed a zillion goons already. By killed, I mean knocked out, of course.
Yeah.
You take out his personal guards surrounding him, and he's like, "You still will not defeat me." And you're like, "I took out everybody," but he's behind some bulletproof glass, and you're like, "Oh, okay." You
I have the explosive gel that, like, blows apart concrete.
But
I have freeze grenades. I have sonic batarangs. I have all this shit that can murder you. You know, if I wanted to, I could go down to the foundations and just start using explosive gel on the foundations. No. Clearly, you have me outmatched, Strange.
But then you hack the door with the bulletproof glass, so it opens. So now it's you and Strange, mano a mano. The other guy has no weapon, and he's like, "You will never defeat me. Punch, you idiot! I'm right here."
He has no combat training. The guy is sort of fat. He's not gonna fight.
I know. And then finally he admits defeat. Like after that, and also he's been stabbed.
He gets stabbed, not even by Batman. His own opponent, his own
boss.
His own boss has decided, "You have failed me." And then is when Hugo Strange goes, "You know, I might not win this one." When he has a freaking sword through his heart.
So
there's a possibility I might lose this battle. Slight. I'm still pretty confident about my chances, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he says activate Protocol 11, which blows up that whole building, and then you and Ra's fly out, and Ra's tries to stab you through himself midway down, and ends up...
you know he's going to come back, so this brings up my point again. If we need his blood for this thing, why is this a big deal that he's going to die?
That never made any sense. He should have just attacked us outright. Don't bother with this moral question thing.
Okay, but here's the really confusing thing about Strange's plan here. Because he said, you can hear him monologuing about how, oh, this is a great success. Soon we'll have similar facilities up in Metropolis and Star City. Okay, first things first. A similar facility in Metropolis would involve setting free all the super criminals of that city. Said super criminals include evil Kryptonians, the Parasite, and other things capable of taking on Superman.
You need a big prison for that.
No, I don't want them outside.
Yeah.
That involves letting them run around free. You don't want to do that. It's insane.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
Okay, so that's problem one with doing this in Metropolis. Problem two is this whole thing has been in operation for what? 3 weeks? Maybe?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's clear that this hasn't been open for very long. So, it's not been open for like more than a few weeks, maybe a month tops. And you see that this is clearly not working. There are like human rights violations going off left and right in this place. People aren't delivering food to this place.
Not enough of it anyway.
There's people being murdered for no reason. There's no vetting process for the criminals. You know,
criminals murdering each other, which is normally not supposed to happen in prison. I mean, it does, but they try to stop it usually.
And at the end of it, he says, "Fuck it, they've gone out of control." No. Partway through, guns are getting shipped into the prison.
He does that on purpose, yeah.
And Strange then goes, "Fuck it, the prisoners are going insane. Burn the city to the ground." And he says, "This is a great success." Oh yes, it lasts a month and results in the death of thousands of prisoners.
So
this is a good plan.
Really, what he plans to export to other communities is simply the notion of every crime should be punished with the death penalty. That is essentially the entire point of Arkham City, is a very sneaky way to introduce the death penalty for everything.
Look, if you want to introduce the death penalty, fine. There's
Just
lobbyists.
say that. Yeah.
There's lobbyists
Just
for
be
that.
a lobbyist. Oh,
But
strange
first
lobbyist.
they had to construct this wall that makes the Great Wall of China look like it was constructed by a toddler, with like machine guns on the top and like all this other crap that will just to keep people inside. It required like millions, if not $1 billion, to construct this place, and it all results with you bombing the hell out of it. So,
yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
So you're saying, look, this place is going to work great to other cities.
Yeah, it's, someone made a comment about Arkham games kind of falling apart in the last 10 minutes. Like, not completely, but in the first game, he was sort of like, oh, we're at the end, and I guess I'm just punching Joker a lot. I mean, okay, that's nice, but it wasn't quite as dramatic as you were hoping for. And this one, it had some dramatic stuff with bombing the whole city and this business with Joker we're about to get to, but it was just didn't quite come together as well as you'd hope. And we're holding it to high standards, let's be clear here. Like, plenty of games don't even bother with this amount of drama to begin with.
But they're trying.
They're
to
trying.
Reach that
We
amount
just
of
want
drama.
that last bit to just add up properly somehow, which is hard to do in a game and hard to do anywhere really. So you defeat Strange, and then
the Joker reveals that he's somehow captured Talia al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul's daughter, because Talia, in order to buy time for you to stop Strange, promised the Joker that I'll show you to the Lazarus Pit. Here's where stuff doesn't make sense. Because Joker starts going, I'm going to be immortal now! Okay. Joker, I'm sure Talia pretty much had to have explained this to you, because if she didn't, she's a fucking idiot. First off, the Lazarus Pits do not make you immortal. They rejuvenate your body and heal you from almost any injury. Mm-hmm. You can still die. But yeah, he keeps going on about... Batman keeps going on about... And Talia both keep going on about this, about how Joker's going to be immortal.
Yeah.
Unless you told him specifically, here's how to create a Lazarus Pit, that's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean,
and you see that there are side effects to using the Lazarus Pit, which Ray's is...
Though granted, Ray's took 600 years before we got to that point.
Points taken, but still, they're going on about how, oh, he's going to be immortal. Here's a thought. Okay, just here's a thought. That's not how that works. You're all idiots. I hate you.
I put that on a t-shirt. Anyway, it was odd in several ways. It was odd when Batman has got half a building collapsed on him and Joker could kill him and she's like, spare his life, I'll give you immortality. Even assuming she could give him immortality, I feel like the Joker would prefer just to kill Batman.
He really would.
I mean, you could always make the argument that Joker doesn't really want to kill Batman because he,
Without Batman, crime has no punchline.
Without Batman, crime has no punchline!
No, that's not how you say it. Without Batman, crime has no punchline. From the episode of Batman the Animated Series, The Man Who Killed Batman.
Oh,
about Sid the Squid. Sid the Squid is like this low-level mook who accidentally pushes Batman off the roof of a building. and he's like, oh shit, I am so sorry. Everyone starts going, holy shit, he killed Batman. He like becomes a mob boss on accident.
Oh, wow.
Like, he's like a weaselly little shitbag.
Wow.
Like, imagine if Fluttershy was a thug in Batman, and that's basically what Sid the Squid is.
Wow.
Well, the Joker brings him in as part of his gang, and he's robbing stuff, and he's like, you know what, this doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, guys, put the stuff back. This isn't fun anymore.
I've not seen
Without
this episode.
Batman, crime has no punchline.
Is that okay?
He holds a funeral for for Batman, where he drops Batman's coffin, like has a coffin with Batman's cowl in it, and he's like giving this eulogy. Eventually he decides, fuck it. Okay, see, here's what else we're going to do. Sid, we're going to put you in the coffin and push this coffin and Batman's cowl and you into this steel mill.
Wow.
Well, into the smelting pit of a steel mill, because otherwise, if they just pushed him into like the guest receptionist office, I don't think that would have the same effect.
The guest reception office!
Now you will experience the horror of bad music and out-of-date magazines!
a good thing no one else is in the building right now.
Oh my god, yes. But yeah, it turns out Batman is shocked, not dead. So
Just talking about it. Anyway, so you could make that argument of him. He wouldn't actually want to kill Batman, but they didn't exactly build up to that. It just felt kind of rushed. Sort of, oh, well, now he would not kill Batman because immortality. And for some reason, Talia is, a freaking ninja, and she doesn't, chop Joker's head off right then? I will give you immortal... No, just kidding. Like, she could do that.
Joker takes her hostage. She's like, she's taken over the League of Assassins multiple times in the comics.
And we know she has plenty of assassins, all girls for some reason, within the bounds of Arkham City. We all saw them in that sequence.
And
they could all rescue her.
And if Ra's al Ghul is going to be going the way of Bye-Bye, the way of the dinosaur, then Ubu, his manservant, yes, his name is Ubu. They are all named Ubu. All of Raz's servants are part of this one family. All of them are named Ubu, and they train their entire lives so that they may serve the head of the demon.
Wow.
I am so not even making that up. Ubu would come in like halfway through that and chop Joker's head off for daring to raise a hand against the head of the demon.
Yet also Talia would do it herself.
Or one of her hench ninjas.
One of her hench ninjas. Or the thing is, when she first walks off with Joker, there are no other thugs in the room. It's not like, oh, there was a sniper.
That we can see. I mean, ninjas.
Yeah. Well, no, there were no Joker thugs. I mean, there wasn't like a sniper bullet, a sniper scope pointed straight at Talia's head. That would make it a little more sensible.
Yeah, and if she just wants to... Here's a more sensible thing. Okay, if you don't kill Batman, I will dump your ass into a Lazarus pit.
Yeah.
This will cure you because Lazarus pits can revive death.
Also, if you do kill, in either way, do or don't kill Batman, I'm killing you right now. Slice. That's the trouble with lethal characters in otherwise non-lethal setup.
Settings.
I mean, it's not the whole setting is non-lethal, but Batman is non-lethal. But if Talia's there, someone's dead.
You could argue that, she's so honorable and stuff, but she's head of the League of Assassins. They're not known for their honor.
Yeah.
An assassin's tool is, okay, an assassin doesn't go, what is the most honorable way of dispatching this person? An assassin's way is saying, how the fuck do I make this asshole die? That is their goal.
Anyway, so she's held captive, and there's, neat gameplay sections getting there. There's like a dozen snipers guarding this one theater.
Yeah,
and
so...
you have to be like kind of chess-based and be like, okay, I can take that one, and then that one, but then this one, and then like unraveling the knot,
The first time I didn't know there were other snipers. No, I didn't go straight to the door. I saw a sniper. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take him out. I took him out. All of a sudden, there's like 15 sniper lasers pointed at me.
I was like, oh, watch out for the snipers. Sniper lasers.
Okay, so I go to the next one back. I get perforated again.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay, so but the end of it is you find Talia there, and Joker's like, give me my cure, or Talia gets it. And there's a Lazarus pit right below you. I guess Talia just never told him the location. Which is weird, though, because he's right above it, and apparently got there by coincidence? Or something? How did that work?
I don't know.
If he knows the Lazarus pit is there, he shouldn't need the cure at all, and if he doesn't know it's there, what is he doing there?
Maybe he turned the tables on Talia and wasn't willing to let her go anywhere in case her ninjas did anything.
Who says he's willing to let her go anywhere? Lock her up and put yourself in the Lazarus pit. See, this is these little things that just come apart when you think about them. Anyway, so it turns out Joker thinks you have the cure, which you did have it previously, but then Harley stole it, and then apparently off-screen, Talia stole it from Harley, and she has it with her right now, so Joker could take it out of her pocket if he bothered to check.
You didn't frisk the ninja who is leader of the League of Assassins.
And
on a scale of 1 to 10 of bad ideas, that ranks somewhere above, yeah, we don't need to check to see if the nuclear reactor is working properly. It's the League of Assassins! League of murdering the shit out of people!
Yeah.
God damn, man.
Why does she hide anything anyway? The pants are painted on.
The pants and the shirt. Okay, we're going to talk about the female characters, because I got some issues with that. And it's bad when I'm commenting on it. And you normally don't give a fuck, but...
Yeah.
But, okay, okay, he gets the cure, and then he, like...
You find out that Joker is actually Clayface. And the other Joker, the real Joker, is in the wings.
And Joker
Which made for a cool fight scene. I really love Batman with a scimitar, like, slicing pieces of clay. But it didn't quite make sense in retrospect. You're like, why doesn't just Joker be Joker? Like, I know he's sick, but he's apparently not so sick that he can't stand up. So, really, he didn't need Clayface to do anything. It was just like, surprise, boss. Shrug. Oh, well. You fight Clayface, you defeat him. You destroy the Lazarus Pit, and you take your half of the cure, and then Joker's like, give me my half, and Batman says something kind of vague, like, if I cure you, you'll just kill people. And then Joker jumps on Batman's back, stabs him in the arm, which is holding the cure, causing him to drop the cure, and it falls to the ground and cracks open, and Joker, like, tries to lick it up. But
and before that, he murders Talia.
Oh, he murders Talia. Gee, I skipped over that part, didn't I?
Yeah,
Which, this is interesting. Batman considers Joker's death to be a much more big, sad, and somber deal than Talia's death.
Talia, who he's been married to before. Who he's had a child with before. Who he's had... Okay, at least she...
Granted, Joker is a big deal, but that was kind of weird. And here's the thing, her body isn't even there during the boss fight, so there's been speculation that, like, her assassins carried her away to a different Lazarus Pit, Which,
entirely possible.
Which is possible, but then during the expansion you and I just played, Barbara references both Joker and Talia being dead, which she might just be wrongly assuming or something, but it was a little weird.
Yeah, dude, come on. In a comic book superhero universe, you don't assume someone's dead until you have stuffed and mounted their heads and mounted it on your desk.
And they practically did that for Captain America's death, and he still came back.
Yeah.
I could go on a whole separate rant about that.
Yeah, because like some stupid time bullet or something.
It's just to get really brief. Red Skull, instead of deciding to shoot Captain America with a regular gun that would just kill him, instead shot him with a time gun, which appears to kill him in a perfectly ordinary way, but no, for real, his spirit is traveling through time now.
Which they kind of stole off of Batman being obliterated by the Omega beams.
Yeah, well, that makes more sense because it was weird to begin with.
No, it doesn't!
It was, okay, if you're shot by something called an Omega beam versus getting shot by a sniper bullet, which of these two things is more likely to send you back in time?
Good point.
Okay.
It just doesn't make sense for Darkseid to do that, because Darkseid is kind of like the god of anti-life and murder and tyrannical evil.
Yeah.
Red Skull is just kind of a crook. And
they went so far to be like, we definitely super double-checked Captain America's body. It really is, and it's really dead. And oh wait, he's in time. I don't even understand comics. Why you do this?
I swear to God, they're going to retcon Johnny Storm's death too.
Oh sure, why not? You know what? The ultimate...
They retconned Jason Todd because Superboy punched reality.
Superboy punched a wall so hard
he punched
that Jason Todd came back to life.
That makes no sense.
I think the only character who remains dead that I can think of is Uncle Ben. That is the only important dead character who stays dead forever. But guess what? He'll come back as the Benenstein monster, and you have to fight him for some reason.
No. He'll be the new Herald of Galactus.
He'll be the new Herald of Galactus.
Hey, I've heard of stupider plot lines.
Oh my gosh, he would totally turn right around and face Galactus and say, hey, with great power comes great responsibility. And Galactus would be like, oh, fine, I'll just go eat Mars.
Yeah.
So anyway,
where
Joker. So Joker tries to lick up the cure he just accidentally spilled because he's an idiot, and Batman says to him, I actually was going to save you. And Joker says, you know something funny? I still would have saved you. And Joker says, that actually is pretty funny. And then he dies. It's like, whoa, Joker died. That's like a big dramatic ending, and it's Mark Hamill's last time as a Joker, so it's real.
We love you, Mark Hamill.
I know. It's
too bad that Mark
in the comments knows where to get the complete series of Batman the animated series on DVD. Please tell me.
It's too bad that Mark Hamill didn't do anything else.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
It's too bad.
I'm sorry. I just felt the urge to give Star Wars fans a heart attack for a moment there.
I saw this one interview where they do questions from the audience in the panel, and then one of them was, do a brief dialogue between Joker and Luke Skywalker.
Oh my God!
Where
yes.
Joker reveals that he is Luke's father.
Yes.
That was so funny.
Oh my God! Yes.
But yeah, he died, and it was a big deal, and the game ended. It was dramatic, but all this other stuff was still in the back of your head, going like, that didn't make sense there, and that didn't make sense there, and
like, how the hell did? Okay, one of the annoying things, but I do like about the game is that you have to collect the Riddler trophies, which is fine. You go around the game, you collect the trophies, blah 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 blah. Problem is that how the hell did he get the trophies into like areas where he absolutely should not be able to get them? Like, you have to fight your way past 6 legions of Tiger Guards, which are like the top elite troops in the game, and there's a Riddler trap that's completely set up. Like, you have to hit this switch, which leads to a wire about 50 feet away. How did you do that? Or he goes into these areas that haven't been touched for thousands of years, and it's like, oh, there's a Riddler trophy here. How and why did you come here and put it here?
I'm much more forgiving to all that because it's not the main story. That's the part where the developers are basically saying to you, okay, this is a game now. Clearly, we set this up as a game. And then the other stuff with all the cutscenes, that's like, this is story now, and I wanted the story to add up more.
Mm-hmm.
But overall good. We had fun with a lot of different gadgets. They kept playing up the formula. Early on, you find gargoyles in these rooms with ridiculously tall ceilings, and you fly around, and then at some point, the bad guys start shooting down gargoyles.
It's like, what the fuck? Stop doing that!
And then there are guys who have night vision scanner things. They'll scan gargoyles, but then you can get this other upgrade to not be scannable if you don't move, so you're like the Predator or something. It's pretty cool. And you've got like freeze grenades and batarangs and remote control batarangs and a whole bunch of stuff. There's also the Catwoman stuff, which I will say, when you buy, nowadays, if you buy Arkham City, please buy the Game of the Year edition. They're both $20 at the store I went to, regular edition and Game of the Year. I didn't know there were 2 editions, so I first bought the regular and then realized I should have just bought the Game of the Year. But if you happen to have the regular for some reason, it'll bug you. It says, do you want to buy the Catwoman missions? Not worth your money, really. Like, here's what you do. Play the whole rest of the game and all the side quests and stuff, which is all awesome. And if you still want more, then fine, buy Catwoman. Even then, though, buy Harley Quinn first. That's better than Catwoman.
Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Harley Quinn's Revenge. The Catwoman stuff, it's 4 short missions. She's visually different when she fights, but it's basically the same mechanic.
And her traveling across the city whipping thing is really not as much fun to play around with as Batman's.
It's true to her character, but there's a reason why Batman tends to be the main character, right? Several reasons, of course. Yeah. But it was sort of just slower and her story is intertwined with Batman's, but like not in a way that really matters.
Like, you could have had any character. You could have Robin take her place on those missions, and it really wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Yeah, pretty much. Imagine if Robin had been tied up in the courthouse, and then Robin saves you when you're in the rubble and all this stuff. Actually, Talia and Catwoman save you in 2 different ways when you're in the rubble.
Mm-hmm. So, Catwoman, not really worth it. But there's a problem with the female characters in this game.
And in gaming in general, for the most part.
Well, this game, I thought it was kind of egregious. Every single one of them had their costumes fucking painted on. Okay.
There was a lot of unnecessary sexiness, yeah.
A lot of ass shots. And a lot of cleavage. Okay, you know what? For Talia, she's a ninja. I'm assuming that tight clothes are better because he wouldn't, catch on shit. And she's a fucking ninja. She doesn't need to wear body armor because she's a ninja. Mm-hmm. And she has legions of ninja followers. Okay, if you're close enough to point, if you're pointing a gun, assume that there's 6 other ninjas holding a knife to your throat. Anytime you walk into an empty room and Talia's in there with you, assume that every wall you can see is a living, crawling wall of ninjas, like army ants, except ninjas.
Wow.
Okay, Catwoman, less forgivable, because she's supposed to be one of the heroes of this game. And yet she has a plunging neckline.
Well, wait. I will forgive Catwoman more than anyone else for being sexy, because she's always been portrayed as the femme fatale, uses her sexiness to while away Bruce.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. I am... Okay, that has been how her character has been consistently portrayed since her character's inception. But the plunging V-neck and high heels are stupid when you are fighting guys with guns.
Now,
sorry. When you're fighting guys with guns, you don't want a V-neck. You want body armor. Okay, give her a one-piece jumpsuit. Have it fit to her curves. Fine. But say, like, it's bullet resistant. It's got Kevlar weaving and stuff. Don't give her a boob window and high heels, which are just going to break.
Now, we should... I am thinking now, because I hadn't really thought of it before, there are, some minor female characters not dressed up that way. The
but they're
nurses
not super...
and the doctor and they're all in the medical field now that I think of it. There's no like
a couple
female,
cops and I think there's maybe? like a firefighter too.
So like so they're they're not it's not 100% of female characters being portrayed as super sexy, but it does happen a lot in comics.
Pay attention
yeah, the characters actually pay attention to her like that, and that just. This is a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp. It's not that sexiness is bad. It's that doing anything to excess is bad. To simplify. It's not... I'm not... people aren't annoyed that there is some character somewhere who dresses like a stripper. They're annoyed that, 30% of women are strippers in media for some reason. And it doesn't make any sense.
I'm just mad that it's for practical reasons.
And practical reasons,
Catwoman should not be wearing high heels when her job is running around.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy, I'm much more willing to forgive, because one of my favorite interpretations of Poison Ivy is not as a human, but as she is just either so insane or so in touch with nature that she doesn't really identify as
human anymore. So she identifies as a plant.
So she wears less just because she sees less need to follow society's restrictions.
Yeah.
It's just that they slapped some clothes on her because otherwise they couldn't get the game published.
That's always something to consider.
I do think that the negligee on Solomon Grundy was a little excessive, though. You will never unsee that! You will never unsee that!
Yeah.
The penguin in a Speedo.
No, I was gonna make a comparison. Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to burn my retinas for this.
I was gonna make a comparison to Mass Effect, where what's that race of females everyone complains about? The Asari. Now, some of them are bona fide strippers, am I right? Like in an actual strip club. And to that extent, that's fine, because it's realistic. There are such things as strip clubs in real life. But I saw this one picture, maybe you know the name of this character. She's like a military person of some type, standing in the middle of like Hoth. It's some ice world, and she's wearing still like a stripper outfit. And you're like, okay, this is the point where it's just silly.
Okay, I think the character you're talking about is Samara. She's a member of the Justicar organization. Mm-hmm. They're a very traditionalized organization. They do justify it in that, like...
Do they? Okay.
Sort of.
So, but yeah, these things add up when you've seen it in so many stories.
Okay, Miranda was less forgivable, but yeah.
Now, and just to throw
and Mass Effect is actually a lot better about it because there are female characters.
There are definitely.
I mean, and it's not just everyone is wearing stripper clothes.
That's true.
It's a very small percentage of it.
Yeah, okay. So I haven't played enough of it to really be a fair judge, but I just remember I saw this one picture, like, you're on Hoth and you're still dressing like a stripper. Come on.
If it was up to me, every character would wear Space Marine or Terminator armor from Warhammer 40k.
Oh,
so
stuff.
This is Catwoman. Affirmative. Attention, Poison Ivy. You will be destroyed by the order of the Emperor.
Now, some people point out that in comics, there tends to be, the male body is also idealized. And I would say at least it makes sense, because if your job is beating up bad guys, of course you're going to have muscles. Like, that kind of goes with the territory.
And we're not showing men wearing thongs and Speedos.
That too. Yeah.
We don't have shots. For the most part, if a male character is objectified, it's because they're showing off his bulging biceps as he punches a guy.
Yeah.
It's not close-up shots of his ass or his crotch.
Yeah, not really, no. That's not a common thing.
Hell, there have been gay superheroes, and they didn't go like, "Oh yes, I have to wear this clothing."
Anyway,
there was a gay cowboy comic a few years, I don't know if it was a few years ago or when it was actually. I do know it existed. It's just that he was openly flamboyantly gay, and he didn't wear clothing any differently. They didn't emphasize his ass or anything.
There you go, breaking some stereotypes. So
it was before Brokeback Mountain, though.
It was before Brokeback Mountain.
Okay, so there's my rant on female clothing issues. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not like James Bond. We're like, seriously, the girl only exists to be sexy. We're not at that level here, to be precise.
To be fair, they have had more than one. They have had a lot of characters who exist as female characters who exist. Okay, yes, they are sexy, but Die Another Day was like the first Bond movie I saw in theaters, and and Halle Berry's character was an agent in the CIA, and she kicked ass too.
Okay, that's good.
And one of Bond's other conquests turned out to be a kick-ass ninja assassin lady.
Well, there you go. So that's all like Talia.
Yeah, there have been tons of female characters in James Bond who violate that rule of women tend to only dress sexy or like strippers.
Well, wait, they still dress sexy, just kick ass also.
Okay, yeah, point.
So show me an ugly woman in Bond, and now we're really getting somewhere.
Okay, you want an ugly woman who kicks ass? Archer, season 4.
All right.
Pam.
All right.
Pam is really fat, and yet she's capable of, essentially she paid her way through college by going into murderous, barehanded fighting tournaments and winning.
See? Progress. Anyway. But they announced the third and final game in the trilogy, Arkham Knight. And actually the fourth game, technically, because there was Arkham Origins that nobody really cares about.
What's Arkham Origins?
Arkham Origins was created to fill the gap while the main team was working on Arkham Knight. They had their B team do another Arkham game. And the plot of it is, it's near the beginning of Bruce's career. He's not voiced by Kevin Conroy.
Well, then it's non-canon. Then.
I know, yeah. And the Joker's not voiced by Mark Hamill either. And Black Mask puts out a hit on Bruce on Batman. Kill Batman within 24 hours, you get $10 million.
So naturally Batman waits at home in the Batcave for 24 hours.
No, he has to run around and fight everybody.
What? But that's the obvious way to do this.
I saw the review that was the Batman Arkham games are like pizza. Even when they're not that good, they're okay. And that was Arkham Origins. That was the okay game, shrug. So I'm not even going to buy it. I think I'm going to save up I'm going to wait till the next big thing, and that'll be Arkham Knight, which involves a new villain named the Arkham Knight, who you can't see his face, so I'm just wondering if it's Jason Todd or, somebody...
Wait a second. A charismatic villain?
Yeah.
Who you can't see his face. And, Mark Hamill says, "Oh, I'm not going to be Joker again," meaning that he has a spot open. It's clear who the Arkham Knight is. Firelord Ozai!
I was going to go with Luke Skywalker.
No. Firelord Ozai was played by Mark Hamill.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. It couldn't be Joker because the Arkham Knight has a different personality.
And we pretty definitively killed him off in this game.
And that too. But I'm just wondering, where that's going to go. So, in each game, they have to escalate. First, it was the asylum, and all the doctors apparently been thrown out.
Then the city.
Then it was the city, the Arkham City, a big... Then next, it's going to be the whole city gets evacuated because of threats by villains. And you get to run around the whole city and punch people.
Here's a thought. Move in the military with, send in SEAL Team 6 to kill these guys. Clearly, they keep breaking... The only purpose for Batman's Rogues Gallery, and this is a question that's been posed in comics time and again, why don't you just kill them? Have some guys go in, put a bullet in the skull of Poison Ivy or Two-Face, because all they ever do, is they break out of the asylum, They murder a shit ton of people. Batman beats them up, but no, he won't kill them, and puts them back in the asylum, and the cycle begins again.
Well, that's Joker immunity for you. That's why they named that trope. And
well, it didn't work in this game, so clearly it means that anyone can die.
well, true. But there's also the anthropic principle of wanting to set up a cool Batman story. And imagine if you're in the opening cutscene, the city's been taken over. But I will do something, and you see the red laser of a sniper scope go by, like, near his head, but it points to someone else. Bang! We just took down Two-Face. Bang! Oh, we just took down the Penguin. Wait, what? They all just get shot. You're like, well, never mind, then.
I would play that game. Hell, play the role of SEAL Team 6 and take out deadly targets.
Well, yeah, that would be a game. It would not be a Batman game. Seal Man, apparently.
No, just say SEAL Team Arkham.
SEAL Team Arkham. Jeez.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
Okay, but things I'd like to see. I'd like to see Azrael, because, quite frankly, he was an interesting character who just...
Yeah, there are a few side missions in Arkham City, which, in retrospect, like, 3 of them were kind of the same. It's, let's see, the Azrael mission, the Identity Thief mission... And the Deadshot mission are all go around to 4 or 5 points in Gotham and scan something when you get there. Okay. Which is still okay, but you were like, oh, I thought it'd be a little more deep than that. But
the Identity Thief one, it was pretty boring until the end when you learn who the Identity Thief is. Because it's like, oh, it's Thomas Elliott. Holy crap, this is Hush! They have Hush in a video game!
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Hush is... Well, it was probably one of the more famous recent Batman storylines where Bruce Wayne has a friend from when he was a kid named Thomas Elliott, who for some reason really hates Bruce, so he uses his fame as a plastic surgeon to turn himself into Bruce Wayne or something.
You know, I'm not sure if he pulled the turn myself into Bruce Wayne thing during the original run or if that's new to this game. I know his big deal was that he coordinated...
But it's famous. Don't get me wrong.
I remember reading it, though. He coordinated all of Batman's villains, basically, to give Batman a really hard time and hopefully eventually kill him. And he was, like so many of the villains, a dark mirror of Batman. It's eventually turns out that he tried to murder his parents when he was young so he could get the inheritance. Because he's rich in a similar way that Batman was. But it didn't work, and then for some reason he couldn't try again, and he had to wait all that time until they finally died. And then he got rich, and then he decided to kill Batman because he's evil. For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
He looks cool, though.
I can't remember the name of it, but my favorite dark mirror of Batman was this guy in a purple Batman costume with a W on his forehead, and he murdered people and copied Batman's methods so exactly that years later, they had another guy in the same costume, and they realized... This isn't the same guy. It's the guy he trained to be his Robin.
Interesting.
He only showed up in like 1 or 2 comics, but I really liked it just because it's so complete.
So anyway, the side quests were kind of go to a place and scan it. But there's also the Zaz thing, which is a series of races, essentially. You pick up a phone, you have to run across the whole city.
And Zaz, I think they really kind of shafted Zaz in this one.
You think so?
Okay, I admit I don't have much experience with Zaz, but my first experience with him was during the No Man's Land storyline. You familiar with it?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, for those who aren't familiar with it, I'm going to explain it anyway. Anyways, No Man's Land is about how there was this massive earthquake that's pretty much wrecked Gotham City down to the core, and the federal government decided, fuck it, we're not doing anything with that.
So
they kicked Gotham City out of the U.S.
It really makes no sense if you think about it, but that's okay.
Yeah, later it's revealed that Lex Luthor did that so that he could destroy the business records and then purchase up all the business records so he could own like half of Gotham and increase his business power or something. I don't really get it.
It still doesn't make sense.
But like Zaz showed up and he was terrifying there. And he was like, he was this huge 6'2" dude who loomed over everybody, and he didn't like raise his voice. He was just like, my purpose is to kill. All I do is kill. And he had these notch marks all over his body, and it's like, oh my god, those are people, how many people he's killed. This one, it was like it was fighting Gollum.
Yeah, it was a little more scary than Gollum.
Yeah, but like he was hunched over and he was talking like in a creepy, like, oh, and I lost everything in this, Batman. I lost everything.
Yeah.
But then I realized, murder.
That's the solution to nothing, actually.
I don't know. I felt they really defanged him because I thought he was scary when he was just this big dude who just said, I murder people. That's just what I do. As opposed to this guy who was so in love with death, he felt he was about to start humping his knife.
That's a scary thought. Well, he was certainly different, but I still respected him as a villain as far as this game was concerned.
I took him out in one punch.
Well, yeah, the whole mission was all that other stuff getting to him. But all right, yeah, he didn't have a big fight scene with him. It's true. Nor do we have a big fight with Deadshot when you finally get to him.
Okay, Deadshot, I admit, like, I spent 5 minutes at the location where you're supposed to fight Deadshot way earlier in the game because I was like, what the hell is over here? What is with this building? It's weirdly shaped. And then I got to when we finally fought Deadshot, it was like, oh, okay, now I see why it's weirdly shaped. So you can sneak underneath him and then take him down in one hit.
Yeah, there's that. And you also gotta save political prisoners, which is sometimes annoying when you keep hearing, help! Someone help! And you're looking around, where the frick is he? What the frick? I don't know. Though I remember that was a problem with the sequence in Arkham Asylum. You were in Croc's lair in the sewers, right? And you had to walk very slowly on these wooden planks that were kind of the little like rafts floating on the water. And every once in a while, Croc would jump out of the water like at a distance from you and run at you, and you had to throw some batarangs at him, to put him back down again. But you didn't know which direction he was coming from, and you don't have directional hearing because it's a video game. So where Batman should logically be like, he's on my left, I was like, where is he? Slowly turning. I can hear the music. Like, here he comes. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there he is. And he already be in your face. So in this one, when people are talking, you could see a little icon around them in detective mode to be like, oh, that's the guy who's talking. Now I know what the frick direction that's coming from.
But that's much more helpful than just saying,
something is happening somewhere. And you're like, I feel like an idiot. Which way is the giant crocodile man? But yeah, so a bunch of missions. We found Azrael, found Azrael with this puzzly thing.
Okay, for those who don't know, there was a Batman story called Nightfall. Okay, another thing that I have to take points off of Arkham City for. Okay, so in Nightfall, we introduced this new villain called Bane. Bane's what I call like an apocalypse villain. It's basically a one-shot supervillain that does something incredibly devastating to the hero, but unfortunately they can't repeat it because then that shtick would be just cliche.
Doesn't that what they do with everybody, though, eventually? I mean, the new villain, it's an incredible villain! And look, freaking the Anti-Monitor fell victim to that trope.
Okay,
that is the ultimate apocalypse villain, and now he's like, oh, roughly the same power as half a dozen other villains. Shrug.
Yeah, okay, so the Anti-Monitor, Doomsday and Doomsday
did that too. Yep.
Yeah, he murdered Superman,
and then he came back weaker later on. Not just Superman. I mean, Doomsday came back as a weaker villain. Yeah,
because he cloned an army of the armies of Apocalypse, cloned an army of Doomsday, and sent them out to Paradise Island, and they still exist. So obviously they fucked up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so. But Bane is a Spanish-Mexican wrestling guy, except he's not. I'm just generalizing because he wears a luchador mask at all times and injects himself with this drug called Venom, which we talked about and made jokes about earlier in the review. What he did is he broke every villain out of Arkham and let them run loose in the streets to wear out Batman. Then he attacked Batman and broke his spine.
That was a dark time in comics.
Yeah. So this new guy called Azrael came up and with power armor took on the role of Batman. He was a different sort of hero. Like, for example, you know how Batman's known for doing the Batman exit for...
My favorite part of that comic.
Yeah. So Batman usually does the Batman exit on Jim Gordon. So Azrael is like listening to Jim Gordon give the synopsis of the latest criminal. Jim turns his back to light a cigarette or his pipe or whatever he's smoking.
He's still talking during that. Yeah, well, in a city like this, turns around. Oh my God! What? You're still there? Oh, normally I turn around and you're gone. Well, I wasn't sure our conversation was finished. Never stopped you before. Pause. Okay, I'll just leave then.
And he made it awkward. I saw this comic online. It has two different endings, like, because someone took the original and modified it. The original is Jim is like finished giving a lecture to Batman, and he says, Batman, I'm not done. I'm going to sit here and wait to see how exactly you leave my office without anyone seeing. And they stare at each other for like 10 panels before Batman goes, look, the Riddler! Well, someone photoshopped it so that, Batman's just staring there, still glaring, and then suddenly he makes the TARDIS noises as he fades into nothingness, and the final panel just has Jim's eyes as big as saucers.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, Azrael was a different sort of hero. He was more focused, more willing to do horrible injury to people.
He needed to go by the end of the
Well, it also...
run.
He was very religious. He was a member of the Order of St. Dumas. To which I always pronounce as St. Dumbass, but, because I am 12. Anyways, so eventually he started going crazy.
And Batman had to take him down. Which apparently none of that happened now because he's meeting Azrael for the first time in Batman Arkham City.
Yeah, but that's not canon with the comics.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm just saying. Within this canon, that canon has not been borrowed.
But, so anyway, Azrael shows up as one of the sub-quests.
Yeah, side mission.
Where you have to find him, and then you have to go, okay, you carve a symbol onto the ground. This is like public property, right? You probably shouldn't be doing this. You actually get an achievement if you throw a battering at him. He catches it, and you get an achievement.
That's nice. Yeah, that was fun.
So, anyways, eventually he draws these symbols in the ground, and you have to find where exactly they lead. And it leads to a church, the only church in town. We probably should have checked the guy with religious overtones going to the church, like, before we did any of this other crap.
And then he says there's a mysterious prophecy, and you will close the gates of hell, or open them for all I know. I forget. Probably first or the third game, which we were talking about a while ago. We are the rambling reviewers, aren't we?
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, so some random darkness is going to be coming sometime in the future. It'll be great is if it didn't apply to Batman at all, but like the fourth Arkham game where they're doing it in Batman Beyond universe.
Ooh.
That's when it happens.
Yes, the prophecy.
Fuck it, have Apocalypse come in.
That's the Arkham Knight.
Darkseid is the Arkham Knight.
Holy frick. No, alright, so things up to see in Arkham Knight. I'd love to see a Predator boss. I've always said Predator is what they call it when you're picking off people one at a time because most of them have guns. And they did kind of have that in Harley Quinn's Revenge, actually. This is kind of neat. You're in this room, Harley's got a bunch of dudes with guns guarding her, and you and I were like, okay, we probably have to take out everyone else before Harley.
Because that's how every other boss had worked before then.
Yeah, like Strange was behind the glass and so on and so forth. So we took out everyone and we're like, okay, they're all dead. We can attack Harley now. And then we got shot and died. We're like, wait, how did that happen? And kept playing us several times before we realized, oh, she keeps calling in reinforcements, so she'll never have less than 3 people in the room. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish we'd known that.
So that made her kind of a Predator boss. That was neat. But you could do more with that. I remember what you said to me when we were at the final battle with Clayface, and as cool as it was visually, you were like, with all that stuff we learned about these gadgets and how to sneak around and all those things, shouldn't that be like the final thing?
Okay, so, we practiced beating up all sorts of human opponents, so naturally the final boss is a giant slime monster.
Yeah, which is basically just button mashing to beat him, a bit of dodging. But
yeah, throwing ice grenades on a creature made out of mud and then attacking it with a sword. Clearly skills we honed over the hours of pressing X to beat up thugs.
Yeah, I could expand.
Ra's al Ghul would have made a better final boss for Arkham City.
Yeah, you could have done that, couldn't we have?
Yeah.
Though then, well, we have to rewrite this whole plot with the Joker anyway, but we'll figure out something. But I'm gonna say, so Predator boss stuff or whatever, something in that vein would be cool. Their big thing they've advertised is the Batmobile, the Bat tank, essentially, the tumbler, the whatever.
No, not Tumblr. We'll be inundated with social justice warriors and feminazis and
someone has to make that clip at some point. Like at some point, you click on this like on YouTube or something, and Bruce from Batman Begins. Bruce says to Lucius, "What's that?" And they look over, and the car has been replaced with Tumblr and like a bunch of random nonsense posts. Oh, the Tumblr? No, sir. You wouldn't be interested in that.
Yes.
Because that's the exact quote from
Do it.
But anyway, so that's going to change the game a lot. They have to space all the buildings farther apart now so that there's actually room for the car.
They have to make sure that there's areas where you can drive the car, because so far, Arkham City, they had to evacuate this whole area, and there's just broken down cars everywhere.
And there's really nothing in the way of streets almost. It's like a little bit of street and then just a whole bunch of back alleys.
Also, how the hell are they going to do the car thing? Because you obviously can't run people over, because that's not very a Batman thing to do.
I'm guessing everyone adapts. Suddenly becomes very good at dodging. You just go, and they go, wah! Which, by the way, in the Dark Knight movie, what?
Oh no, I'm just remembering. We thought, okay, you can purchase gadgets using points every time you level up, because there's a leveling up system. Of course there is, in Arkham City. Well, I thought I had purchased the gadget that allows you to fire a grappling hook at people and yank the gun out of their heads. It turns out that I didn't, and so I kept firing it at people. They would dodge like it's from the Matrix, and then they would shoot me anyway. I'm like, how are they doing this? Look, I'll check the... Oh, okay, I don't have the thing that I'm trying to do, so that might explain it.
Nah.
They were ninjas.
No. Do you remember, by the way, that scene in The Dark Knight, the movie, where Batman's on the Batpod and he's like going to ram Joker?
Yeah.
Now, I understand what Joker's up to there. He's playing a game of chicken, and he wants Batman to stop at the last second and fall over because he's going so fast. What is Batman doing during that scene? Because he doesn't want to hit Joker. He knows he's going to have to stop. If Joker plays chicken, that just means Joker jumps aside and Batman goes, "Oh, wait, let me turn around so I can come back and get you again."
Come back and not get you?
And I, once again, not hit you. Like, I don't know, it was a great movie. That was one scene didn't actually make sense.
Yeah, it was actually made better in, how it should have ended. Where he actually hits the Joker, and then the rest, and then immediately, and Superman's calling out, "Dude, you ran over a human being. You killed a human." I didn't say I ran him over. Didn't say I killed him. It cuts to the Joker in a full body cast in a hospital going, "Oh, did I ever tell you how I got these scars?"
From Batman?
From Batman. From Batman. Oh, it was great.
Oh, boy, good movie. Anyway. But, so yeah, we'll be driving around. It'll be 5 times larger than Arkham City, so there's a good reason to have a car.
How can it be 5 times? I mean, that's just insane.
Yep, cars. Hopefully, that'll be a good functioning car. I don't know. And hopefully the plot will make a little more sense in some of these areas. It was still a fun game, cool plot and everything, but we picked it apart already.
Again, I hope to see like other elements of the DC universe seep in, not like to too much of a degree, but I'd like to see Huntress. I'd like to see
without excessive cleavage.
Okay, yeah. I'd like to see Huntress. I'd like to see Etrigan without excessive cleavage.
Yes, please.
Ooh, this top is so chilly. Ah, my eyes!
The form of woman, rise the demon Etrigan.
No, you can stop now.
All right.
No. Okay, like I'd like to see Dr. Arkham.
Oh right. Oh, that he actually had audio logs lying around in Arkham Asylum, or like it was like a it was like stuff carved into the wall, I think, and you would scan it and they would like hear his voice. So that's cool stuff.
Like Nightwing or
yeah. What else was I gonna say there? I noticed in one of the previews, Batman is using a freaking tank-style weapon against these other tanks that the Arkham Knight has that are all remotely controlled. I was like, wow, Arkham Knight, you're kind of stupid. You should put a guy in there, and then Batman won't be able to shoot them.
Yeah, or at least you'll force him to slow down, go up to each tank, do whatever magic tech gear thing you're supposed to do to him. Yank the guy out and knock him out.
Yeah. We kind of need, if you could actually pull off something more along the lines of crime solving and not just scan the thing we told you to scan.
And then go to this place. But that's hard to do because you're bridging genres at that point. You know, and you have to like. Then it's like Professor Layton.
Yeah, like we'll combine Professor Layton with Batman and see what happens. Well, we kind of have that a little bit with the Joker trophy, with the Riddler trophies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder what they'll do with. I presume Harley still wants to kill Batman. That'll be her only motivation. For the Joker, getting revenge on the Joker. Lots of villains will be up to lots of crap. Good for them.
Again, God damn it! Just do the simple thing and seal them in cement.
Yeah, that'd be a thing. I wonder who the Arkham Knights are going to be and how they'll make that interesting.
Hopefully not Damian Wayne, because he'd be like 4 at this time.
Time travel.
No.
It's
not Batman-y. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. Batman has experience with the other members of the expanded DC universe, but if we're keeping this a purely Batman game.
Yeah. I feel you could do even more with the combat than they've done. It's still kind of a game of Simon Says, which it felt more like that in the first game. They've made it more fluid, but there's something you could grasp onto making use of your momentum. And, you get a point if you're already moving in that direction to hit the next guy also in that direction. There's something kind of vague. I'm going to grasp onto it somehow of coming up with a very simple system that would be very hard to master. And then you eventually have guys putting videos on YouTube where it's just like one super fluid motion back and forth across the room, punching everybody, extra power because you get points that way.
I'd like more long-range options to take out crooks.
Yeah, we could. We did have the zapper, but yeah.
That wasn't really a way to take him out.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. I wonder if there are bat caves scattered around Arkham in the next game. Kind of cool. Recharger stuff or something.
Halo ODST kind of felt like this game. I mean, a little.
In what way?
Large open world that you can explore, fight enemies as you go along.
I got lost in ODST. This is a pet peeve of mine.
Hey, I like being able to get lost in games. It means that they made the world big enough that I can get lost.
Yeah, but there's lost and there's always something whichever way you go, and then there's lost okay, seriously, I've listened to the soundtrack a few times now. Which way is the next encounter?
Okay, yeah, still, but what they did, if you found all the audio logs, the AI controlling the city would start to open up these satellite, not satellite bat caves, but these garages with weapons and vehicles for you.
That would be a neat thing to do is, I know there's hardly a word for it, but sort of territory management. In Minecraft, everything is there. Well, the initial landscape is there, but you can build a house or something wherever you want, right? Mm-hmm. And you could stuff it full of useful supplies to grab later, right? And maybe put one right outside where there's a big cave of monsters you want to kill or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And that's neat because you really make the world, and there's long-term planning in everything you do. Mm-hmm. There is no long-term planning in Batman Arkham games thus far, is there? It's all, your health recharged from the last encounter, go fight the next guy, which is neat. But wouldn't it be neat if you were managing your supplies of either batarangs or something else that's useful to you, and you would store stashes of them on purpose in this and that spot of the city? And you could be like, oh, okay, so if I go over here, I can grab that stash I put in yesterday and, upgrade my stuff, and I'll be more powerful for this particular challenge over in this particular area. And you would sort of almost colonize the city a little bit with, your own secrets.
Nice.
That'd be neat. And then you could have traps and stuff too, right? Because guys could walk in and steal your stuff unless you put there's a laser tripwire out in front or something, and you come back later and be like, oh, the anti-personnel mine has gone off. Oh, I should replace that because apparently they're still bugging me here. And while we're at it, let's borrow some ideas from Shadow of Mordor, which I've not played, but I hear it was great. It's like this game, but in Mordor. You're running around killing orcs. And
I'm imagining Batman going around beating up orcs in Mordor.
Batman,
I'm imagining him
Arkham
grappling off of Sauron's eye.
He'd be like, ah!
As Batman swings to the next Riddler trophy. Ah! Oh, that was horrible. That's not gonna. Ah, Catwoman, why?
Oh no, but this is great. I heard from Yahtzee, the game reviewer. It's that all the orcs have a specific hierarchy of war chiefs. And they have duels with each other to, find out who will go up and down in rank. And this all happens organically and randomly and stuff. All these orcs have unique names, and they have unique strengths and weaknesses. And you can find out a guy's weaknesses by finding one of his minions and, strangling him till he gives you information, right?
So it's just like Batman.
But here's what's so neat about it is you have to keep track of orc politics. Because if you want to go kill... Zorgon the Beast Slayer, and then Zorgon loses his position and gets moved out to Sector 3, but you need to, conquer Sector 2 right now, that's a problem. You gotta find out what is the weakness of this new guy.
Turns out that his weakness is being stabbed a lot. Well, I can do that.
But you would keep track of it. There was, this ongoing generated story, right? And here's a great thing. Whenever you die, whenever an orc kills you, that orc gets a unique name and goes up a level. You come back, and that is the specific guy who killed you. And he may eventually go up to become, the highest war chief in all of Mordor, And you're just, going on this revenge quest to frick that one guy.
It's like in Dwarf Fortress, where the more of your dwarves a monster kills, the more names and titles it gets. Leading to, I swear to God... Gorgoth Moleblood, dreaded sea sponge of the 9th realm.
That's quite a sea sponge.
Yeah, Dwarf Fortress, they're still ironing out all the bugs. An early one in it was that, it's like that. Every single creature has a unique history, just automatically generated from, thousands of different sub-histories or something. Anyways, so, they, early on it was established that the more you use a skill, the more that skill improves. So if you lift up things a lot, you get stronger. And this doesn't really have a limit. Meaning that, yes, you do it... At one point, there is a story where a guy manages to kill an orc by swinging a backpack. But early on, carp were the only fish. And since all carp do is swim, that means their strength was leveled up to insane.
I've heard this story, yeah. And if you just touch a carp, it kills you.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Sea sponges have become the new badass because they lack a lot of the things that you're supposed to harm. They have no bones, they have no skin, they're just kind of squishy, and so they just absorb any blows that you hit. And yet, because they're clamped onto a rock and just stay clamped onto a rock, they have a lot of strength. Someone once posted this about the sea sponges. Sea sponges, they don't have a nervous system, so the only thing they feel is anger.
All right. Oh, and then I was thinking in Shadows of Mordor, eventually you get this dealio. No. You get this dealio for mind controlling an orc. And you can set him up through orc politics to make him fight the next guy you want while taking pot shots at that guy from a distance or whatever. And, you're just messing with it. What a great mechanic. So I was thinking, if they want to be really ambitious, and you know what? I doubt they're doing this because they're already ambitious with so many other things. But it'd be so cool in Arkham Knight is to have generated gang wars. and you have to keep track of which gang owns which piece of
You
territory.
can go. No. You can try to set yourself up as the gang lord by going in as Matches Malone.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool! You end up being the gang lord guy. You try to set up matches, give people intel, screw them up, and then if you're really, really good at it, you could actually end up being in charge of one of the minor gangs or something. It like changes the story.
You overthrow Black Mask.
Take his mask, put it on yourself.
No, you overthrow Black Mask and Scarface. Okay, so I'm fighting the guys that I set up to do the thing. I am very confused.
The only tricky thing of you being in charge of the gang war is somehow you'd have to make sure your minions didn't kill anybody if you're Batman. But whatever.
There's a story
even just to make the gangs fight each other in a dynamic way. If you beat up too many thugs in one area, then all the other gangs will flood into that area like an hour later, right?
Right.
So then you have to be like, oh shit, I don't want to hit everybody here because I need the balance of power, because if there's too much craziness going on, I'm going to have trouble when I want to get to my stash of goods that I stashed over there, etc., etc.
Unless you take the option we took in Harley's Revenge, which is to literally beat up everybody in the entire city of Gotham.
At the beginning of Harley's Revenge, we talked to Jim Gordon. He's like, Harley's in there, and she's got some cops captured. We're like, oh, okay, we'll go in. We didn't notice that if you go to the map, it tells you where to go. So I'm sitting here, Matt goes across the entire map and eventually takes out every single thug everywhere. And more than half of them had guns. And eventually everyone is knocked out. We're like, we've taken out every single person in the greater Gotham area. What are we supposed to do now?
And of course, the frustrating thing is, like, we had to go inside for something, so we had to go in. Less than 5 minutes later, we have to leave. They're all back up on their feet again. And they're like, do you think the Batman's here? I think we hit them too hard in the head.
I really wish that they'd had a line for Oracle. If you beat up everyone, she just gets on the radio like, Bruce, you seem to have knocked out everyone in the greater Gotham area. Are you sure you forgot? No, remember what the objective is? Oh yeah, it's on my map, isn't it? Sorry.
Bruce, you have a job.
But yeah, you could do lots of things. Like, let's say in Arkham Knight.
Murder. Thug a murder spree. Well, okay, let's see. Bruce has completely cleared out the following areas. Gotham. Okay, the only place he hasn't cleared out is McDonald's on 5th and Michigan.
All the crooks are just like crammed inside that one McDonald's.
Okay. Let's get the false facers. No. Let's get the Two-Face gang. Okay, hang on. We have to get past Ivy's group over there. Maybe this isn't worth it. No. We need to take out Joker's group. They're in the playpen.
Oh, we should do that.
Oracle's just sitting then recording the whole thing on pay-per-view.
But you could do like let's say Oracle gives you advice here and there, right? In Arkham Knight.
Bruce, he's already dead.
Oracle gives you advice in Arkham Knight. Like practical advice, like, whatever. What type of weapons the guys have around the corner or something like that.
But not being video game advice.
But not being too video game-ish. But
like that always bugs me. Like whenever it's so immersion breaking when it's like, okay, now we're going to fight these enemies. Press A to.
Yeah. But some sort of helpful advice she can send to you by radio, right? Or even for some reason, Batman keeps downloading encryption codes with the municipal code system on. I don't know how that works. Just download them all, why don't you? But anyway. Some reason to have radio contact. So, in this randomly generated gang war, one of the things gangs do is set up radio jammers. And so you may be like in Sector A, and you realize, oh, wait, my thing isn't working. Oh, because the guys in Sector B got too uppity. Well, I need to go take care of that gang now, and balance it out. And I just realized, if you can't be a gang leader, per se, you could be the leader of the cops, right? The cops could take territory back from the gang leaders, and you try to help them out here and there.
Which is another thing that's like in No Man's Land, or is that what it was called?
I remember this bit in No Man's Land where
the gangs basically divided up Gotham. Like there was a very small section for the police, but and then you saw another map from much later on in it. The gangs were pushed out to the edges. Most of the city was in yellow with the phrase him written across it with a Batman symbol.
Yeah, wouldn't that be really cool to see your influence spread and then wane, but then also spread again?
Wayne?
Oh, boy.
Oh, our funny bones, they are mighty.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd take, little pieces of the city to call your own, either for weapons caches, but then later also, with enough safety, you could almost like establish a shelter for some of the people that didn't evacuate, right? And a cop or two, man, if you secure passage, a safe, that'd be look, I'm coming up with all these ideas. But you could have refugees here and there who did not escape Gotham, right? And you need to get them. You want to have a place for them to shelter, and there could be missions where either you escort them back when they're in like a crappy car or something, and you're flying nearby, making sure no one hits them.
Escort missions.
Well, they could be crappy, but if you did it right, you could have bringing them to safe territory or bringing cops into new territory, like police station, 347.
Batman is a gang leader.
Batman is.
Hear me out here.
Okay.
After you take out a gang leader as Batman, like all the thugs are like, well, screw that. I didn't like him anyway. Batman, we're in your side now, and then like you can have them stay in your territory that's not any gang leaders. It's Batman's territory, and so you set down the rules like, okay, no killing. Basically, you help defend the people. Be good people.
Yeah.
And so like you can move people into that territory, like refugees into that territory, and as you expand, like more people join up with the Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially the police, but it's right. Batman's territory.
And not every gang would be susceptible to that, because it'd be kind of weird if, like, the Joker gang or whatever.
But there might be some people in the Joker who
there might be some people.
And you could, like, have problems with, like, certain defectors not being actually defecting, but they're, like, trying to spy on you for a black mask or sabotaging things.
And the
like
other way
Joker.
to do it is to invent gangs wholesale. Like, I think Blue Boys was the name of a gang in No Man's Land. And you can say, okay, that gang is willing to join forces with you. They're more mercenary than, say, the madmen who might work for Two-Face or something like that.
I think madmen work for HBO.
That too.
Oh, our funny bones, they are truly massive.
But this sort of, territory mastery, in addition to combat mastery, that could work together really well, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You drive around your territory in your car and be like, yeah, things are rocking here.
And then eventually, like, there might be, like, certain events that shake up things in territory, like, Poison Ivy suddenly takes up residence in a park that either you or someone else controls. Or
someone releases poison gas in an area and everyone has to
flee
that area.
Smilex.
Oh, God, Smilex. Rush back to that part of town. Do something about it.
No. You rush away from that part of town. Screw those guys.
You have to, find a way to suck all the poison out of the air or something with some device you've got,
Like, you could like, go to... you could go to, Etrigan... Sorry, is it Jason Blood? Is that his name?
I don't know. I just saw Etrigan.
Etrigan's human persona, who's a wizard and stuff, and you could, like, if Poison Ivy pops up, you could summon Swamp Thing to get rid of her.
Ooh, Swamp Thing would be a neat thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like a really late in the game thing, but just because it would be like this running side quest for the entire thing. Yeah. There's this fan fiction called With This Ring. It's a self-insert, but it's really good, where this guy gets an Orange Lantern ring and he's inserted into the Young Justice universe. Okay, but so how he handles Poison Ivy is he's been going around for weeks trying to get the attention of Swamp Thing, who is the voice of the Parliament of Trees. Basically, if you work with plants, you're part of the Parliament of Trees. And when I say work with plants, I don't mean like you work at the barn nursery or some gardening center.
You're a super person. Yeah.
If you have superpowers related to plants, you're part of the Parliament of Trees. Well, anyways, so they have captured Poison Ivy, and she's shrieking, "I will destroy you all with plants and shit." Swamp Thing bursts out of the swamp, marches over to her, and said, "Your voice is always shrieking on the edge of awareness. The Parliament of Tree, the Green does not care about your petty causes. The Parliament of Trees casts you out," and depowers her completely.
Oh, wow.
And then he goes away, like, finally she stopped talking.
That's cool. Another plant-based person, Black Orchid. I read that comic recently. Whichever one. The most famous Black Orchid.
Let's see other good things.
Yeah,
but like
territory mastery thing.
There
Like,
could be
you
like
could-
a
you
demon outbreak, and that's why Etrigan is in the city.
Okay, yeah, that could be. You also in Arkham City, we saw a few times where Bruce gets supplies dropped to him, like orbital drop thing.
Yeah, like
But if the bad guys have a few anti-aircraft guns, you might need to take them out once again organically to expand the area where you can get drops.
yeah, or heck with it. You know, you need territory, period, in order to have the drops fall into a safe place.
That too.
I mean, you can have it dropped into enemy territory, and sure, it might land on a roof where no one is. But at the same time, if someone gets their hands on it, then you have to fight like a mini boss who has your tech.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that happen automatically.
Especially like, we dropped in the power armor that you used in The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. The one you used to fight Superman with.
Oh, boy.
The one that was capable of fighting tanks.
And then imagine having your guys backing you up for... Especially at the end. It'll be like, however much territory you've gotten, you get like a big boost of all these cops show up to help non-lethally take down bad guys in the midst of the big fight,
Ooh. Let's say that No Man's Land had a plot point that Lex wanted to try to take over Gotham by the whole end of it.
Okay.
So have like part of the way through, he starts making drops of LexCorp technology to like some setting up power armor to these gangs, laser guns. You don't even have to include Superman, so you don't have to include like kryptonite weapons or red sun lasers.
Yeah, don't bring in Superman because he'd win everything.
Yeah, but like just
LexCorp, or even just because apparently the Arkham Knight has some sort of high-tech army, so you must have
him
connections
being
somehow.
backed up by LexCorp.
He could be backed up by LexCorp.
But then Lex Luthor is also trying to get control of the entire city in addition to the Arkham
just
Knight.
as other people can take your stuff, you could take their stuff.
Yes.
You could like get a beep beep beep. Oh, a drop is coming in, and then sneak over there, hoping you can get there before the intended recipient does. Take some power cell or something that you need to help power the car. Maybe, I don't know.
Or if it's power armor, take it.
Just take it, wear it, and punch stuff.
Yeah, use it in case you find like Titan is still a problem, right? So just instead of having to wave your cape all over his face and then punch him a lot, you wear power armor and then you take him down in a few hits.
Imagine you've set
or
that up.
Bane.
Yeah, imagine you've set things up like this, like you've imagine there's a roadblock somewhere and you take that out. And then now your car has access to this area, and you wait till a Titan guy's coming at you. You intentionally run away, let him follow, hit the button for the car to follow you. Car rams him because you previously got rid of that roadblock. Or with these power armor things, some of them might be like robots that you hack, right?
Yeah.
So you have one, you've stashed a robot in this area at the end of that particular street. People are running after you. Oh, okay. Deet, deet, run. The guy starts marching. Great distraction while you run off and do whatever other thing you were planning to do right there.
Have Oracle control some robots.
Oracle, yeah.
Oh, and
Oracle.
another thing.
We need robots in this location.
Another area that you'd have to secure like immediately is Oracle's place. That would be like the first place that you'd have to.
You can choose to not do it, but at the same time, you'd A, piss Oracle off, and she controls like all technology everywhere. B, she'd have to evacuate from that area and go to a new area where she wouldn't have her advanced technology set up.
So I'm guessing that'd be a required mission, yeah.
Even if you did recapture it later, she wouldn't have access to a bunch of the stuff because criminals came in and took her stuff.
Right. That sounds like either a mandatory mission or the developers spend a lot of time making the other thing possible. But yeah, that'd be really cool. You could even have her, you could have multiple potential bases for her to be at, or even not a base for her to physically be at, but like, oh, Bruce, if you get me the such and such antenna, I can do such and such thing. So you go and you have to go hack that antenna, then another gang might take it back from you if you leave it alone for too long, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta plot things out. And you'd have to make sure this, of course, doesn't get into, like, boring micromanaging mode. But I think there's a way to do it where it'd be really fun and interesting.
I like boring micromanaging
well,
mode.
that's true.
Oh, like, you could hire construction workers, like, to clear out, like, subway tunnels underneath the city. And then you could use those to...
Yeah, as a fast travel thing.
Azrael had, like, the rocket bat subway car thing. You could use it to get quickly from place to place.
Yeah. And then maybe get ambushed if, like, bad guys can do that. And like, oh, well, the subway stops all of a sudden. Surprise fight. fight, you know.
Like you have to make sure that both ends are secured for it.
Right, yeah, you'd hopefully do that. And then Killer Croc's down there somewhere, too.
And you run him over with a rocket bat sled.
Rocket bat sled. Yeah. You know, you could do a lot with this territory management thing. Well, if that doesn't show up in Arkham Knight, we're going to have to make a fifth game someday. I know, they're planning this as a trilogy, and I understand that they want to be done with it, walk away, and do something else for once after they've done all these Batman Arkham games in a row. But, I mean, who knows? They might have some of this in there. Shadow of Mordor had this stuff in it. At least with the orc politics thing. Not so much territory management, but personal management. Getting revenge on that one mook who killed you. I love that. Take him down. He killed me. What? I got better.
His name is Stephen Auron. So eventually your quest involves you stealing the ring from Frodo and throwing it into Mount Doom yourself.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, you know what'd be great? You build up your whole society. Like, you start taking over Mordor, and then you start making improvements to improve your lives. Eventually, you've turned Mordor into, like, a first world nation. You have geothermal power.
Oh, wow.
You have, like, extremely progressive insight into men and women's rights. You don't have slavery anymore. And it's, like... Just like you're trying to be ahead of like your other factions, and you've been gone so far. You're like, hey, wait, how did this happen?
That'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, these things. We need like 2 hours now.
Wow.
1 hour, 45 minutes.
Wow.
I think we have some good ideas here. They'd be a bit hard to implement, but whatever. We're making up good ideas anyway. Imagine how it would tug at your heartstrings when, during the final act, the Arkham Knight shows up with his army and automatically takes a huge chunk of territory, some of which was yours. You're like, no, I fought for that building. I remember that specific building and setting up the defenses.
No, the Live Nudes building!
No!
Save the strippers!
Oh, boy, yeah. Yeah, Batman needs to save everybody. He's not stereotype. He's not gonna leave the strippers out of it. But yeah.
Okay,
I think
well,
that's about it.
I think we probably have like 1,000 more ideas, but the problem is that we are falling asleep. So I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night, and we started at like 9. So
yeah.
So, anyways, that
Batman Arkham games are good. That's a summary.
Batman Arkham game are good, have some flaw, but ultimately very addictive.
Yeah, and I don't play a lot of games these days. I mean, I wait for the really good ones.
I'm still playing Mass Effect 3.
Good. It's good stuff.
Mostly,
except
Mass
the end.
Effect 3, mostly a good game. Few plot holes here and there. Few things I really change up. That's for a later video.
Yes.
Okay, so anyways, what can you say except that I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're signing off.